So this is one quick question to all of you. This is great for students and everything, and I think this is fantastic, and you're making this available, and we're going to leverage it. The other question is, have you thought about econ students, business students, policy people, and how many people are coming to like the conferences that you're having that are, let's say, in the industry part especially, who are the management people who need to actually fund this and kind of raise that awareness going forward, because those are the people we still have to convince and make sure that they're educated as well.
So
not at the computational level.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. So for the summer institutes, actually, the boot camps that we call them now, we've had some of that. I do have actually managers coming in and sitting in, and they're not doing the hands-on exercises, but they want to be there to learn about what's going on. What do I need to know to engage with my user community? When it comes to that 130-hour program that we offer, that one actually I had an ambition. My hope was that none of the applicants would be from those three departments. I wanted earth scientists, applied physicists, mechanical engineers to come into that and take that, biologists to take that. We have not been particularly successful there at this point. But my ambition was really not for a computer scientist to take a computational science, which is fine, but I wanted the from outside to come in and allow them to build that opportunity.
We definitely have other disciplines in our, particularly in the Fortran and C class. We've had economics, we've had psychology, we've had bio and life sciences. They have to sort of be computationally inclined a little bit, but we definitely see a broader group of disciplines going into that course. We don't have at this point a set for managers, but we've had that thought as well that they need to know what needs to be happening there, and so that's in development.
I would say that's a clear distinctive point between data and high-performance computing. For the data-related activities, you even get people from theology. For high-performance computing, it is much more the usual suspects communities. And I think you get, that's our experience, you get management people in through the entrepreneurial track. So startups and this brings management in. But I have so far met really a very small number, close to zero, of people from business administration that are interested in high-performance computing. It is different for national economics, of course. There you have a lot of mathematical modeling, and from this community we get a lot of people. But classical business people, it's much more data-centered.
My only comment is we hosted a data center reliability boot camp for 3 days a couple months ago. We did have a few business folks in there just to expose them to what we grapple with on trade-off analysis, things like that in the data centers.
My question for Jan, it's kind of related to what Jack was talking about. You had a line on there, was the bottom bullet on one slide about I think it was a professional science master's program. Is that drawing in the non-computational scientist who knows that they want to be in management and business or something, and they need to understand this, but they're not going to be embedded in it? Who's coming into that part of the program in particular?
So what we have seen is that, it's only, I think this is the third year we're doing it, but what we're seeing, that's what I wanted to achieve. I wanted the non-computer science, non-applied math, non-statisticians to come in and take this program. That's why it was sort of leveled so it's accessible. However, we're not really getting that. I'm getting people that want the breadth, and what I'm seeing is that they're using this as a platform for, I can take a computer science, but it's broader. It's my data science track, because we don't have a data science track yet, and it's sort of in computer science. So they're sort of using this to their advantage, and they're playing with their curriculum. But it's a non-thesis track, so it's pure coursework. But yeah, I wanted earth scientists, I wanted economics students, I wanted I wanted a theology student, but not in HPC, obviously.
Quick question for UT. So I think you may be the first university to offer a course in data center design. That's good. Quick. So maybe Keith, when he gives a guest lecture, covers the perspective of, let's say, top 5 or 10 data center design firms in the US. Sounds like you're teaching it all from Oak Ridge people who are operating the data center, and perhaps those folks have played a major role in design of data centers. But there is a considerable expertise, and I know you can have only 25 lectures, you can only include so many people, but wouldn't hurt to have 1 or 2 people, and maybe Keith summarizes what they will get from the professional firms. But so what's your view on that?
Yeah, excellent point. We recognize that last year in our lessons learned briefings, we were talking about, well, how do we bring in outside perspectives, and through Susie, we reached out to Keith, and fortunately he'll be available this year. We want to do more of that in coming semesters if we continue to do this, and we recognize we're limited to what we know in Oak Ridge, but we are in their backyard, and there are opportunities with us and our strategic partners, their other data centers. But yeah, excellent comment.
Any more questions? Need the exercise.
So most of what you described were in-person meetings. Can you share experiences about recorded content or web content or MOOCs or?
There's a YouTube channel that has all of the recordings from TACC presentations so far in training. As I said, they've been viewed 11,000 times, I think, which is kind of cool because that's, I think, 10 times the number of people who actually attended, so that's good. I don't have any results on whether people have liked them or not, or what they've done with them. It's definitely being viewed, and we're starting to do more smaller, like 2-minute videos. How do I log in? How do I do this? All the kinds of FAQ kind of questions that you would get from a center, to be able to do that as well, so that there's less time invested necessarily in sitting there watching a video. It's one way, right? I mean, there's a webcast during the in-person training also, so we actually have separate registration for both, so there's 30 registrations for in-person and a certain number for webcast, and so there is interaction there, and then once it's recorded and put online, you can't really do that.
Any more questions? Well, personally, since I'm in academia, I want to congratulate the 4 of you. I mean, excellent presentations and excellent work that you're doing. And I wish we'd see more universities doing similar things. So let's give our speakers a round of applause.